Need to call the meeting to order. Everyone please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everyone please silence their cell phones. Ms. Edelman, have a roll call, please.
Mayor Plummer.
Here.
Commissioner Brooks.
Here.
Commissioner Roberts.
Here.
Commissioner Gibson.
Here.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Here.
We have a quorum and ready for the transaction of business.
Thank you. Ms. Miller?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First item, we have number 4, which is approval of minutes. First item A is for the regular meeting on November 22nd, 2022. Are there any corrections, amendments, or comments on the minutes as presented? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
And may I have a second? Second. All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item B is for the workshop that was held on November 29th, 2022. Are there any corrections or amendments to those minutes? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to ordinances and municipal orders. The first item A is the second reading of the ordinance amending the employee pay scale and classification ranges. The recommended motion is to approve ordinance 22-17. And we have 2 items that are being addressed in this ordinance, the billing supervisor as well as the dispatch. This was previously presented last meeting. The fiscal court has also taken action to approve this, and the reason we had them do that is a recognition of next year it'll impact the budget request that comes forward for the dispatchers. And then the E911 board heard this item as well. They didn't have to take any approval or action yesterday, but it has been heard before those 2 units as well. Are there any further questions or comments on that item? Hearing none, can you call the roll, Stephanie?
I need a motion.
Oh, may I have a motion? Sorry.
Motion.
We have a motion and a second, thank you. Can you call the roll?
Mayor Plummer.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion carries.
The next couple of items are appointments to our boards. A couple of our boards, we're trying to get those items filled up. We do have a couple that we'll still have outstanding to make appointments on, but we're trying to clean those up a little bit. So I'll just talk overall, and then we'll take those one by one. The way those generally work is the mayor is available to make a recommendation for appointment, and then that is confirmed by the commission. So each unit has slightly different rules as far as how long the appointment is for, or who gets appointed, the number of appointments we need to make, items of that nature. So these are just a lot of reappointments. I believe we have 1 new appointment. So the first one in the recommendation is to approve municipal order 2022-22, which is for Terry Rankin to the Paris Housing Authority Board. Are there any questions or comments on that one? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you call the roll?
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Plummer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. The next one is, the recommended motion is to motion to approve municipal order 2022-23. And this is a reappointment of Jeff Birdsong to the Economic Development Authority. Are there any questions or comments on that one? No. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Plummer.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item D is a reappointment of Angela Roberts to the Parks and Recreation Board. The recommended motion is motion to approve municipal order 2022-24. Are there any comments or questions on that item? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
I'm abstaining.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item E is a reappointment of Carrie Barr to the Parks and Recreation Board. The recommended motion is move to approve municipal order 2022-25. Are there any questions or comments on that one? Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
This brings us to item F. I just want to make note, this one is a little bit different because it is a joint appointment that the county and the city make together. So we are using dates that will align with the county appointment. This is for the reappointment of Brian Washington to the Parks and Recreation Board. Are there any comments or questions on this item? Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson,
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion carries.
Thank you. That brings us to item G, which is for a reappointment of Deborah Hamelback to the Bourbon County Planning Commission. The recommended motion is motion to approve municipal order 2022-27. Are there any questions or comments on this? Hearing none, may I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
May I have a motion and a second? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson,
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Plummer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, I need a drink of water after that.
Appreciate all.
Thank you.
Molly, we got something for you, to do something? Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. This brings us to item H, which we have municipal order 2022-29, which adopts a grievance procedure for ADA Title I, ADA Title II, and a administrative guide for Title VI of the ADA, as well as complaint forms. So these are anti-discrimination policies that we're required to have as we accept federal money and things like the transfer station money. This allows us to make statements and have complaint procedures, not only related to employment is a popular one with Title VII, we know that one, but as well as access to any of our programs in our facilities. So you will see here the drafted complaint procedures as well as forms that we are looking to adopt per municipal order. I will make note that you will see a format that I put together for administrative guides. Those are items that I would like to start to bring forward where they're not quite policy level, but they're guidance on how to implement a policy. It's an administration, so I anticipate that we'll have one related to, purchasing and things like that to say, commissions issued the high level policy and here's the administrative guidance on it. So you'll start to see some of those come forward. And as we do those, I will include the ability to, whether it's one that we want to bring back to have commission approve any updates on, or whether it's okay to have the city manager authority to update this one. So this one outlines a complaint procedure, so I am recommending that the city manager have the authority to make any amendments or cleanups on that one, because I don't anticipate large changes without having to come back to the city commission. So that is what is contained in the recommended municipal order. Are there any questions on this item? No. And this will be, all of these will be posted on the website as well. May I have a motion to approve municipal order 2022-29?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson,
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That does bring us to resolution 2022-18, and Ms. Birchall will be presenting for you on this. The recommended motion is move to approve resolution 2022-18, and it's related to our joinder renewal with the Kentucky Public Employees Deferred Compensation Authority.
getting to sit at the big people's development table. Good morning.
Good morning.
The city employees are allowed after 6 months of employment to participate in our 401K and 457 plans. This resolution is simply extending our agreement with Kentucky Deferred Comp to administer those plans for us. Any questions?
Do we have many employees that take advantage of that?
Yes.
Okay,
we do,
good.
Thankfully.
And the good news is this helps us, they monitor for any compliance issues for the IRS or anything like that. So it's great to have a partner like this in place as opposed to us trying to administer that in-house. If there are no questions, may I get a motion to approve Resolution 22-18?
So moved.
Second.
Second. And that'll include signatures on this document. So we have a motion. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Gibson,
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Cynthia. This brings us to item J, which is a proposed amendment to our AT&T Tower Attachment Lease Agreement. It's not necessarily having to do with anything that is attached to the water tank, but the way that AT&T has approached us, and we currently have a fence that sits in the entrance where they would come in to the area where the water tank is maintained. They have asked to be able to put 16 feet worth of fencing to go back and then put a fence so that they can pull into this section of the street to do their maintenance on that. We believe that it would help us as well to be able to pull into that area to do the maintenance, and the rock wall would not be disturbed. They don't intend to remove any portion of that rock wall. So they will be completing all of that work. There's no cost to the city on it, and if they abandon their agreement with us, all the improvements become ours. So we are recommending approval of Municipal Order 2022-28, which allows AT&T to do work on this property. Are there any questions or comments on this? Brian, is there anything I left out?
You covered it all.
Okay, great, thank you. Hearing no questions, may I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
And a second. Can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That does bring us to consent agenda. There are currently 5 items on consent agenda. I would like to note that on item E, payment of invoices, there was a correction. We've sent that to you all, that the utility fund amount should be adjusted to $157,571.30. With that correction, are there any items that anybody would like to remove from consent agenda to discuss separately? Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That does bring us to regular agenda. The first item up for discussion or consideration is related to the observance of New Year's Eve as a holiday in 2022. So there are a number of things that I'm coming across that have been in process, discussed, planned, but not necessarily any formal execution to finalize it. And I want to make sure that I'm trying to be as transparent as possible and try to adhere to policy whenever possible and bring forward if we do need an exception. So I had come across this item. There was some information on the website that seemed to indicate that we might observe New Year's Eve. Our payroll system was configured as we observed New Year's Eve. However, our policy did not indicate formally that we observe New Year's Eve. We all know, though, that the policy is from 2014, needs some amendments. So talking with staff, it looks like it was informally granted, possibly as half days throughout the years. And I wanted to take some formal action to clarify that and clean that up. So it does appear that in the personnel policies that are in place for revision, Juneteenth as well as the New Year's Eve was considered for addition to the holiday schedule. I also understand that part of that was aligning with the county closure, and I have received confirmation that they are closed for 2 days for New Year's, one for New Year's Eve and one for New Year's Day. So I wanted to bring forward to the commission to seek permission or gain consensus that we would be closed for the New Year's Eve holiday, which would be recognized on Friday, December 30th. And then historically, when we've talked about the addition of the holiday, we needed to address the potential cost related to that of overtime that may be incurred based on additional hours worked that week. So Brad had done, and Brad can brief on this if you'd like, but he had gone back and compared a non-holiday week with a holiday week. And all told with full benefit costs, we see about $27,000. So Brad, I don't know.
No, that's roughly about right. Once you factor in all the benefits, contributions and all those kind of things, it's just that extra day as a holiday adds about $27,000.
So we do believe that a lot of the departments, likely from vacancies, could absorb some of that cost. But if there were any departments as we get towards the middle of the end of the year who could not, we would need to do a budget amendment to cover that additional cost. So there could be a cost implication that we would need to use our fund balance to cover if we wanted to implement this. I cannot say today that it would be fully covered within the current budget. Are there any questions on this item?
Only comment is that with today's society and things, we've got to do everything we can to try to keep our current employees, and
Correct.
everything starts adding up pretty quick, with everything that we can do. And so, I think it's a great idea to go ahead and update the policies.
Yes.
Morale boosters.
Yeah.
Yes, morale booster, whatever you want to refer to it, it's exactly right, so.
Thank you. May I get a motion to approve the observation of the New Year's Eve holiday?
Motion.
And I'll say,
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith.
yes, ma'am.
Motion carries.
I want to thank you guys for that support for the employees. You hit the nail on the head that employee morale and being competitive in our benefit structure as well as our pay is something that we constantly are trying to keep up with, and it's an ever-evolving thing. So every step we can make in the right direction is great. That does bring us to item 7B, which is the police department reorganization, and Chief Thomas is going to brief you on this one if you don't mind, but this is also one of those items that I understand has been discussed for a period of time. It's my understanding over a year now, and that we're trying to come back and actually execute what's been discussed for a while. So one of the things, and I'll let Chief Thomas present on it, but to emphasize is in the budget, the proper number of personnel was already considered for this change. We are just requesting that the appropriate level of the roles be considered. So Chief Thomas?
Yeah, so what we're requesting is just an organization change, a chart change. What it does for us, it changes the structure. As you can see there, the captain spot that we are trying to put in place will run the lieutenant, and he's going to be the lieutenant over detectives and drug task force, the K9, the safety guy. What's happened is in this whole process, we've had, when we say 31 officers, sworn officers, but we really have 45 employees over there. So we're trying to make sure the workflow and the structure equals, right now the way it's running, the flow that comes up to the lieutenant don't quite hit the direct person that it's supposed to, so we want to make sure the flow comes up right. And that captain's position is the guy that's over E911 too. It's kind of an administrative job anyway, because we share that cost with the county. So making that change without the flow, creates some movement for us too, and the longevity of it in the future. It sets us up for success.
That 45, when you talk about that, that was the 11 FTE hit count in E911, yeah, and E911, plus task force,
Yeah, all
plus,
that. Yeah.
plus SRO.
Yeah. SROs over here. And, you know, in the future, if we add another SRO, Paris decides to do that. And I did have a conversation with them last night. It's a probability. I mean, we probably gonna have one.
You think they'll add another?
Oh, yeah. So the government is requiring them to have another officer. So
Bourbon County gonna have,
they're hiring, yeah, they wanna have one on each campus.
oh, they're gonna have one on each campus.
Yeah.
The statute,
Elementary?
the
It's
statute
statute.
requires each
Yes,
campus.
Even elementary?
yes. Oh, you?
OMG.
Yes, definitely.
Lord. That was resource officer in the elementary school, my God.
Dan, you would be
They do
surprised.
already in most places.
They are.
We're kind of on the end of it, really.
Yeah.
So then the sworn officers are gonna be fixed at 31.
31.
Yes, yes.
32
Actually,
with the
32.
new.
Yeah, 32 with the,
32.
yes, with SRO.
I didn't
Wow.
want to,
Yeah.
and start off at 32, I just wanted.
No, don't do that.
So it'll be.
I had enough questions for you the other day.
32 includes all, just the police officers.
Just the
Just
officers.
officers. There's an FTE of 2, I think, for administrative. Yes. This just deals with the officers themselves.
Yeah, so this does not add a seat on the bus, if you will, this
Yes, it
this
does.
just changes it around.
It does.
And I would say this is a conversation that we will probably continue to have. What I'm finding is, I believe in the budget, we need to bring forward a clear indication of how many people each department is authorized. So we have some discussion of what exactly does full staff look like for a department, and matching that up with the needs of the department as we continue to fill the roles, just so that we're ensuring that those two items are matching. And then what those positions are comprised of, what we need those positions to perform the function of. We'll seek a little bit of authority to make some changes as we assess the organization and discuss those items with you all. So, are there any questions for the chief or myself on this one?
Keep up the good work, Chief.
Right.
Yes. Thank you.
Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve the proposed changes to the organizational chart?
Second.
Motion and a second, please call the roll.
Commissioner Brooks?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibson?
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith?
Yes, ma'am?
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion carries.
This brings us to item 7C, which is a contract renewal for a maintenance agreement. This is a pretty standard item that we do year over year that you would typically see on consent. But I know Brian's been working with their office on some language that we're still working through. So I wanted to give Brian the opportunity to present that
Sure,
information to you.
thank you, and I think I've had one good phone conversation and then a couple emails back and forth with the supervisor at that level. I think we'll be able to work everything out. There seems to be one sticking point, and I may need to talk to Chad to understand how important this is. But what we see in a lot of contracts like this is a limitation of liability. So in other words, they're coming in, they're doing some work, and they want to limit what their exposure may be in the event of some catastrophic failure. So this is 2 times the price of the contract. So basically, they want to see their liability limited to $21,000. They're working on hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, and that makes me really nervous that if we were to have a catastrophe and they say, well, here's your $21,000, sorry about your water plant. So I just need to talk to Chad, and I would like to be able to go back and say that I briefed the commission on this. They're not interested in limiting liability. This is a great company. We've worked well with them. I think there's very, very low chance that anything would ever go wrong. But I'm just not comfortable signing off on a contract that limits liability to $21,000.
However, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
For $21,000. For liability, it's $21,000.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's all the direction I needed.
So,
I will land the plane. It's not gonna fly.
so what we are requesting is to, it is important that we do have a maintenance contract, and Hawk is a industry leader for this maintenance, as well as the equipment we have at the plant. So we are requesting, the request on the table today is to move to approve the renewal of the maintenance agreement, subject to the negotiation with the city attorney, that terms to his satisfaction, and authorize the mayor and the city manager to sign any documents necessary to keep that going. Are there any questions on that item?
And it's for the $10,351 is what the contract is for.
Correct.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That does bring us to outside agencies. Andrea, do you want to start us off?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First, I'm going to tell you about some of the meetings that have occurred in the past couple weeks. Last week, the revitalization overlay group met. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Last week, the revitalization overlay work group met to go over the final draft of the revitalization overlay district. Now, we are going to be providing a presentation to the Planning Commission on Thursday evening this week to discuss and to introduce them to the overlay district and what it would entail. So when I say final draft, there's still a lot of additional review points that need to occur both with legal counsel and with the Planning Commission itself. The presentation on Thursday is just an introduction to the concept of the district. So if anyone's interested in attending, the Planning Commission meeting is at 6:30 this Thursday evening right here in the Commission chambers. Otherwise, our Planning Commission meeting, we have a couple items on the docket. One focused on the Walmart development, of which I've mentioned before. And really, I don't have a whole lot of updates for you today, other than to, just let you know about that and to wish everyone happy holidays. And to thank you all for your service. And as the mayor said, I hope that you all remain involved, and I'm sure you will. Are there any questions for me?
Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do have an update from the chamber who cannot be here today, so bear with me as I read. So she had to indicate that the open house is this Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. Everybody is invited for the chamber and tourism open house. The parade went very well and was a huge success. She is currently working on finishing the magazine, which should be out by the second week in January. This will be an annual magazine called Let's Talk Bourbon County, and it's meant to be a marketing and promotional tool for the community. She will be in Arizona the first week of January to attend her second year of Institute for Organization Management. And lastly, she will be doing a presentation on a community marketing and development plan in January. After that presentation, she will be visiting every chamber member over the next year to find out their opinions of the chamber and the community. At the end of next year, she plans to have a finalized plan to present on where the direction of the chamber is going based on membership feedback. So that is an update from Lauren. So that finalizes our outside agency reports. We'll go to city staff. Chief Thomas, do you have anything? Chief Duffy? Mike? Sparky?
Just a reminder, it's on the Facebook page, but we do have Littoral Tree Service doing right-of-way trimming currently, and they'll be doing it for the next few months. So if you get any call that, more likely they're doing it for us.
Thanks, Parky.
Thank you, sir. Cynthia, do you have?
I really don't have anything other than to thank you all again for your support on the New Year's Eve holiday. I do think that helps us with our retention and recruitment, and when we're
Many of you know, but yesterday the EMS board approved the renewal of the A&B contract. That's the collection agent for the billing for EMS. So that's a 3-year contract. And the department gets all their new, whatever the computers are called. the
Tough books.
Tough books, that's what we're looking for. So. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ron.
I don't have anything.
Just a couple of things on my list. I did want to introduce, we have a new face behind the computer today. This is Miss Lydia Loren. She's the executive assistant, has started. If you haven't had a chance to meet her, we're thrilled to have her on the team, so you'll be seeing more of her. Welcome, Miss Lydia. I will be at KYMEA in Louisville tomorrow, but as always, I'm available by phone or email. There's also, next Tuesday afternoon is the city officials orientation. Ms. Fields and I will be attending that in Lexington. On the utility sales tax, there's a lot of media that's been going on about the update to the utility sales tax. Wanted to let you all know that staff's been working diligently to try to read up on that and come up to speed as quickly as possible on that item. But there is limited guidance from the state on that. So it is an item that we're continuing to review and hope that the Department of Revenue publishes some more guidance before implementation. But what that is in a nutshell is it is not a new tax. This is a exemption of residential for the utility tax. Is continued, but there is new documentation required to show that this is your primary domicile in order to be eligible for the tax. So what that means is we are going to be reaching out to anybody with multiple accounts on file for us. So if you have a person who has 6 residential properties on account with us, they can only claim primary domicile on one of those, and the rest of those will have to be taxed unless the tenant comes in and they change it to the tenant's name and claim primary domicile on the tenant. So this is an item, we did a first comb through of our list of customer accounts. We have 360 customer names that show they have more than one account associated with them. Some of those are commercial, so that doesn't necessarily mean we'll have to get forms from all 360 of them. But this is something that the state says is incumbent upon the owner to come in and fill out the form or be subject to this tax. So we are going to likely send out a mailer. We'll put some information on our social media to encourage people to come in. Anybody who newly registers for an account with us will have to fill out this form as well. So as things go along, just seeking some authority as needed to implement this, we believe that we'll have to look at how the billing cycle falls and how the tax gets implemented, and we'll continue to move quickly on this and keep you guys up to speed, but I want to make sure that I have the appropriate authority to act to implement anything that any changes we may need to implement based on this utility tax change.
Do we keep all the records here? There's not a central point that
The
you have to
state
send
does not
anything
want
to
the
Frankfurt or
records,
anything?
no. The state does not want the records, they just want us to hold on to them in case they audit us.
In case they audit, yeah, in case they audit.
Yeah.
So to me then, the situation there would be, let's say I own some apartments, and some of my renters maybe have old bills that maybe they can't get new service in their name, so I have it in my name. It comes to me, and then I pay the bill, and my tenant pays me because they can't get the service in their name or something. So that's kind of,
Correct,
I guess
those would be
that's the
subject to
situation.
tax
That's one
now.
I guess that's one situation.
So we don't have to go back and redo existing customers. So if somebody just has one account, just for a
Just one
resident,
account.
Right.
nothing needs to happen.
Right.
But for every new residential, we'll have to have.
You have to have a form.
And anyone with multiple
Yes,
accounts would have
currently.
to
Right.
take action on.
Okay.
So the vast majority of people, this does not
Right.
affect in any way.
Mhm.
But if you move homes, you would then have to fill out the new form. When you're moving your service, it'll be a little one pager, but you verified your residence.
all utility companies, Kentucky Utilities, Columbia, I'm assuming.
Everybody has
Columbia
to,
Gas.
yes. Water, sewer,
Water.
electric
Yeah,
are all subject to this. Again, it's not a new tax. It is just they're creating a new form to make sure they're only giving exemption to people who are truly eligible for it. So what it's doing is it's causing us to go through our records with a fine-tooth comb, which may result, I can't tell you at this point until we're done with that analysis of should there be people who now have to pay that tax that maybe before it was assumed residential exemption.
because they did, quote, they are working on giving us a reduction in our state income tax. So they had, I assume, they say it's not about the money, it's about the money. So we're gonna take it out of this pot and put it in, we're gonna pay for it, somebody's gonna pay for it over here.
And to emphasize, this is not a tax that the city keeps the money on. We are a pass-through for the state on this sales tax, so it is not a city tax that we are changing. We are just implementing the change.
So we collect, and then we have to have that in a separate account, or I'm assuming some kind of separate account, then you, monthly, quarterly, or however they've set up. Then
We
you've
have
got
to file tax
you've got-
statements monthly.
You've got to file a tax. There'll be another line on the form, I assume it'll be,
We already.
Oh,
correct
yeah,
this.
we're, yeah.
yeah, okay, all right.
So
Kind
that's
of like
how
it's like an unfunded mandate. You all gotta do this, but there's no money to do this with.
a little extra work,
Yeah.
but that's okay. So that's the update on the utility sales tax. There is a Swiffer grant. It's a solid waste. I'm not gonna tell you what the rest of it is, but it is a grant funding from the federal government passed through the state for additional recycling related and solid waste money. So we are working with the Bluegrass ad and would like to apply for some additional funding. This is a non-matching grant, which is pretty exciting when we can find non-matching grants. And it can be, the award can be, it has to be at least $500,000 that we request, and could be up to $4 million. So we will be putting in some requests for the transfer station related funding, as well as we're putting together a list of equipment that would be needed for that as well. So we'll be working with the Bluegrass ad and get that going. And then with every grant, you know that there'll be paperwork that comes back on that, but we'd like to keep that moving because the application is due in January. So we're gonna proceed forward. Bid for vehicles. So our police department, we do vehicles every year-ish that we look to replace vehicles. Sometimes we miss a year or two. But what we're running into right now, and I've briefed each of you, we've talked a little bit about this a couple months back, that there's a struggle with shortage in product availability. And the manufacturers are only wanting to build so many vehicles. So worked with Brian, and he's created some RFP language that we can publish that authorizes us the ability to buy now or in the future with no commitment based on the need of vehicles to get some police vehicles. So we'd like to go forward and publish that RFP language, and Brian, you can probably articulate this better than me, but we're gonna put out an RFP that says we intend in the upcoming year to replace some amount of vehicles, likely not to exceed, I think 10 is what we were talking about, because we know we have to create our budget. But we put it out there so that they can get the manufacturer working on that, yes, they have the potential to be selling this number of vehicles. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to probably change our processes, because I think we'll see some more of this in the future. But Brian, did you wanna?
Yeah, and the problem can come in when it crosses over budget years, because you're committing now to buy something next December. And there's a way to do it, it's just not how we've done it with police cars, which have been readily available.
I'll say they've been readily available.
Right, and it's not
In
like.
theory.
Right, and so like with a fire truck, you have that truck and they build that truck for you.
Right.
This is not quite gonna be that, it's just a commitment to purchase in the
Same thing
future.
happened to Sparky on
Oh,
one of his
right.
vehicles.
Similar,
I think it's
yes.
24, it's anticipated you'll get it in 24 or something.
Yeah. hopefully.
Well, yeah, I know, yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah.
But that may be part of the bid, you know,
Yeah.
manufacturer and dealer may respond that says, we can't get you what you want, but we can get it in March. And somebody else says, well, if you wait till December, we can get you what you want, and then everybody just has to determine how important is exactly what we want.
Yeah,
So we'll be moving forward with that RFP and just wanted to make you guys aware that we know that the budget hasn't been set for that. We're not committing any purchase at this point, but in order to keep that manufacture process going, we would like to publish that RFP.
Can we get a motion for that?
May I have, are there any questions on that? May I have a motion to publish that RFP?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, thank you for that. I know I've got a lot today, I apologize. So we did meet with a partner with Andrea related to, they're called Tetra Tech. They're a pretty large firm. I'm familiar with them, and they do a lot, but the branch that we met with, they are related to the revitalization of the current land of where the landfill is located. They are partners with the EPA in Atlanta. They are the ones that, as we move forward on our processes, we currently are doing the phase 1 application. And next steps would be a phase 2 part where they would actually come out and do some soil testing, things like that. They are the partner company that the EPA in Atlanta works with, who would be doing that testing. So we met with them to talk about the project overall, and how complex it is and how many roads that we might have to go down to solve this. They are proposing that we do a roadmap to help us identify the different steps. So that'll be something that we bring forward for discussion in January of if we do want to fund a roadmap. Their quoted cost is $20,000, but the idea is that would be the cost up front, and then they would be there to help connect us to additional funding opportunities for the redevelopment of the solid waste transfer station. One of the things that they will help us discuss is we've talked about, in order to get a lot of this funding for brownfield remediation, the land could not stay in the ownership of the city. So that is something that also in January we're going to have some further discussion on. Where do we go from here? So that's an important part of that roadmap that we'll have to tackle. But I just wanted to let you guys know that we are trying to put together where do we go next. Questions on that one?
So before, if let's say the title has to come out of the city's name, at what point does the title come out of the city's name? Is it before any of this money is available? I assume that's what it is, before any money's available, but that doesn't necessitate not doing the roadmap.
Correct. We could
Right.
still do the roadmap.
Right.
We can still do the phase 2, because actually the planning office is the applicant
Right.
on the phase 1 and phase 2. So we can still move forward that way. But in order to apply for any funds for assessment or any cleanup funds, it would have to be out of the city's name before that.
Sorry.
So I think
So
we
that's-
talked about the timeline that we would have to have that done is about Thanksgiving next year.
Okay, there you go. So then not only that, but then the city has to decide what are their long-term plans and goals and things of that nature also.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So there are a couple of different ways we can probably attack this, but it's definitely a big piece of the equation that we're going to have to make some tough decisions on coming up in the next couple of months. I'm almost done. All right. As a precursor, as we look forward to January, one of the things we'll do at the first meeting with the new commission is go over all of our internal boards as well as all of our partners that we have a board assignment on. And those are all the assignments that are a commissioner-based assignment. So just wanted to run through those really quick so people can start thinking about what they'd be interested in serving on. The way it will work is we'll sit here and go, okay, for the Chamber of Commerce, I need 1 volunteer. And then we'll write that down and we'll create a slate, if you will, and then we'll vote on the slate all at once. So who's going to be under what assignment. So we'll have 1 assignment to the Chamber of Commerce. The E911 board will make 2 assignments to the mayor is currently on that, but we'll have 1 new assignment unless he decides not to be on that one. The EMS board will make 1 assignment. The mayor is part of that as the mayor seat, but there'll be 1 commissioner assignment as well. We'll do Tourism Commission 1 assignment. And then those are our outside partners. We have a number of internal work groups. So those are items that we've established to either work on a specific project base or tackle ongoing issues who we really want to be the primary point of contact for them. So the other piece of the equation that we need to think about is, are all of these work groups still work groups that we find valid and we want to have? So what we have currently is the employee benefits work group. There would be 2 assignments to that. The audit committee, which is very active. Currently there's 3 assignments to that. Commissioner Brooks and the mayor are currently and will be remaining, but with Commissioner Galbraith going off, we'll have to consider who will replace that. There's the tiny home work group, which previously had 2 commissioners assigned. I would imagine we would revise that to a revitalization overlay district, you know, not focused on the tiny home. The transfer station work group would have 2 assignments. Recreation and Trails would have 2 assignments. This is separate from the Parks and Rec Board. The budget work group would have 2 assignments. The net metering work group would have 1. Senior citizen work group would have 2. The comprehensive plan advisory work group would have the mayor and 1 commissioner to be appointed. I will talk with Andrea. If we're not looking to do work on that in the next 2 years, we may not make that appointment. And then we know we have the code enforcement work group, which Ms. Fields and Mr. Withrow has already volunteered for, so we'll have that one set. But wanted to put that out there because we'll be looking to make those assignments early January, so wanted to make sure everybody knew that there's a lot of spots to fill and we're looking for people who want to fill them. So last thing that I have is I just wanted to, for our outgoing commissioners, thank you all for everything that you guys have done for not only the citizens, but staff and the businesses and everybody. So we do have a little recognition for the 3 of you. So I want to not only thank you guys for what you guys have done for this community, but also taking a chance on an outsider like me, bringing me in. So we did want to present each of you guys with a small token of our appreciation. Stan, this one's for you. Would love to get a picture of you guys in front of the wall with them, but wanted to thank you guys for everything you've done over the last 2 years.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
We can take a picture at the end of the meeting if you'd
Yeah,
like.
let's-
But that's it for me. So. Whew. All right.
Okay.
Mayor, go ahead.
Well, I just want to also thank the commission for your all effort put forth, working your family, working your jobs, and trying to make this place a city a better place to live. So I really do appreciate it on behalf of the citizens.
Thank you.
Oh, they've said it.
You gotta say ditto.
Ditto, too.
Anything today?
Only thing I had is, I think everyone, all of us got an invitation from Gordon and EDA Board on the 21st from 9 to 11. You can kind of stop down any time during that period of time down at Mustard Seed Hill, but it's kind of again, it's just kind of a recognition to thank everybody that's been partnered. Again, all of our community partners and everything else are invited to come down and thank everybody for, kind of the progress that's being made in Bourbon County and what have you. And there's a lot of good things going on. So He just wants to try to thank that he and the Nicholas County Fiscal Court and the Nicholas County EDA are also co-sponsors of this. So everybody come on down. And I did want to just say, I guess in conclusion, for me, I did thank everybody that has voted for me in the past, and I did enjoy doing this, and it has been an honor and a pleasure to serve, and I thank everybody.
What are the hours of?
9 to 11. 9 to 11 at Mustard Seed Hill.
And make sure you're hungry that day, because right before that, from 7 to 9, we have the employee breakfast over
That's
there.
at one double,
So
no, it's not
that's
one double, it's
7
10,
to
11,
9.
yeah, it's 10, 11 High Street down at the Catholic Church at the Parish Center, from 7 to 9, right?
Correct.
We'll serve, so,
And Gordon's is RSVP by the 14th.
yes,
Yes.
by the 14th, that's correct. He's trying to get
Right. His numbers.
the food set up.
Yeah.
Gordon meets eats. Are there any other items to come before us today? Hearing none, may I have a motion? Yes,
I want
sir.
to get a picture.
Yes,
afterwards.
absolutely, yes. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Paul, are you taking the picture?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you all.
Nice.
Very much, very nice.